Welcome back, everybody, to Noun O'Clock Live at Zero Rights Media. I'm Robot Fish Girl. We're watching the MD auction for Noun 1449, this cherry we got yesterday, and it is the final ever episode of Noun O'Clock Live at Zero Rights Media.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's also the final noun ever. I don't know if they told you when they said one episode every day forever. What they meant until today. It just forever was pithier, but that they didn't mean it. No, it is the final episode of Noun O'Clock Live. It is, if you will.
It's the final countdown.
Of course, we would have that ready. Because why wouldn't we?
Why wouldn't I? I had to.
I apologize. My voice is a bit raspy. I'm on the mend from a cold, but 36 seconds left on this one. It's a nice noun too.
It is. I was happy we got to get it.
We're having an interesting battle between Val Taylor from the park and Nouns Break Even Movement. And now a new bidder, it looks like.
This is not a new bidder. This is the same bidder that has won every single day for the past several months.
Sorry, what I mean is a new bidder beyond those two people. So B5 with 24 ETH left in the wallet and 21 nouns already assembled has just entered the fray. Maybe they're just going to keep us here. Like maybe they'll just make 9 o'clock live at number 1000 last forever.
They've been doing that. Usually the last few shows, since we've been doing live shows for the last little while, or light shows rather, the last couple shows, I usually wait until 24B5 is the top bidder, and it's like around 2.7-ish.
Why does 24B5 sound like a British boy band from the 90s?
I wish it were that pleasant.
That's one thing we haven't seen yet. We haven't seen a nounish boy band yet. It's not too late. I see JP just joined.
There's still time for you, Toady. Start your boy band now.
I think the Shrimpy Burger was a boy band, wasn't it?
That's true. I'm just saying I could see JP as the front man for the nounish boy band. That's all I'm saying. Actually, does the park count as a nounish boy band?
In many ways.
Boy and girl band.
Yeah.
Come. well,
can you believe we finally made it?
What is 9 o'clock live? Maybe there's some people tuning in from the thread earlier, or they're seeing it on the timeline. Maybe RFG, do you want to explain what the show is?
9 o'clock live has been 9 o'clock live has been the reason I haven't been able to have a normal sleep schedule for 2.5 years. We follow the end of the Nouns auction, and have done so for 1,000 auctions, not 1,000 days, 1,000 auctions. And the reason that I specify that is because the auction drifts forward a little bit every single day. It has actually been 1,008 days since we started the show.
So, I didn't mention that in my thread, but yeah, so we've actually lost days to the
We've lost a week. We have lost an entire week and a little bit to the drift. It's about a week and 12 hours.
It does feel like we've lost at least a week. In doing this.
Yeah. We've lost a solid. I actually did the math, and we've had an average show length for the longest time of about an hour, and I think the shows that were shorter and the shows that were longer sort of balance each other out to make the average length of about an hour and 20 minutes, hour and 15 minutes ish.
Yep.
And we've lost more than a week of time.
We've lost more than a week, and Prof can attest that it was the fork week. That's the week that we lost somehow.
Yep.
No, but it's been crazy. So how did we lose time though? Like, what does that mean? How does the drift cause us to lose days?
Well, because it drifts forward.
No, I understand. I get it.
Oh, you're asking me to explain for others. Sorry.
Anyways, I'm
Work with
watching
me
you
here,
calculate hours to days calculator.
I did just find that. Yeah, it's 52 days total that I just went and looked up.
Yeah, that's what we're seeing on the screen right now.
I know. I did it there on purpose.
Like a deck of cards. I love it.
Okay, I didn't realize it was on purpose.
Yeah, no, it was deliberate.
Prof, you were up way past your bedtime. I appreciate you.
I already went to sleep. I got up and I'm like, I can't believe I'm waking up right now. This is rough.
I took a nap.
Welcome to my world.
Worst. It's the worst possible time. Like,
yeah, but it's also just kind of like par for the course that it would be at 2:30 in the morning. You know.
Yeah, I mean, do y'all remember the first like holiday season that we were doing Noun O'Clock live?
Yep.
And it was at we got to see midnight on the EST time zone live on the show. And by we I mean me, because that was when I started hosting.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, those were always the weird ones when it got near midnight for us in our time zone. So we're kind of like, is this today's show, tomorrow's show, both?
Yeah, and especially because we're in a variety of time zones. So it's tomorrow for you and me, Toady, but for some of the other people here, it's still yesterday.
Yeah, and of course, I don't know if Ben Body's going to make his way. Wine Body's going to make his way here tonight, but it's always tomorrow for Wine Body.
Yeah, true. He lives in the future in many ways.
The part
no, but before we got wildly off track, what I meant by we lose days is since the auction drifts forward, it's not every 24 hours that we do this. It's every 24 hours and a little bit. So sometimes it's every 24 hours and 15 minutes, or especially because like bidding wars like this happen, where sometimes it's every 24 hours and 20 minutes, or it takes 24 hours and 5 minutes, or sometimes it's 26 hours. It all depends on the bidding war, and then also how long it takes for us to play FOMO and pick a good looking noun. It all varies.
And 9 o'clock live lives in the and a little bit, basically.
And 9 o'clock live lives in FOMO lives in the and a little bit, and the show has gone through a variety of iterations. As we're ending it as we began it, where it's just sort of we're hanging out, we're watching the end of the Nouns auction and talking about things. But for a while we had guests every single day, which was a gargantuan effort and took a huge team. And then we sort of slimmed down and had guests occasionally, and then that sort of moved over into Zero Rights Reserved, and it sort of swapped into being more of a just a news show talking about everything that had happened in the last 24 hours in the Nouniverse. So it's evolved over time, but the core of it has always been following the auction and ruining my sleep schedule. I think those are the two main tenets.
Yeah, we also started on Twitter, and then for a while we moved.
I have no idea what I'm going to do with myself after this.
Can you hear me? Or actually, I think I'm going in and out. I'm not sure if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
I think maybe RFG can't hear me though.
No, I can hear you now. My sound card cut out, and I didn't realize it until I saw your thingy moving, and I didn't hear anything. What did you say?
No, I was just pointing out too that we started on Twitter Spaces, and then for a while we were also on Tavern, which was
I miss Tavern so much.
Which is a more decentralized version that was sort of integrated with Farcaster. We were there for a while, for as long as we could be, and then had to move back here to X after Tavern got sunset. So we've kind of been in a few different places and definitely tried many different things, but always had the show every single day, which is pretty crazy, and definitely couldn't have been done without a core team. And like, definitely you gotta throw flowers to you, RFG. Definitely this would not have happened without you putting in work, especially recently, to be here every single day. And Brett and Symbio, you guys, like, it's pretty incredible, and it's been fun. RFG's like, define fun.
No, listen, there have been fun days.
It's fun. It's fun. Look, when we were looking at our plan for the year, and we were talking about winding down the show, we had originally talked about winding it down in January, and our RFG was like, no, we must keep going until at least number 1,000. It has to happen.
We were so close, and at that point we were like, well, we could sunset it at like 969, and I was like, well, Yeah, it's the funny meme number, but like at that point, it's like, why not make it to 4 digits, right?
I also realized we could have just went to like 999 and sort of, capped it there. It would have been apropos as well.
I
Especially
mean,
since 999
yeah.
has been such a supporter of the show and everything. But
We
But
did
that's
hit pretty
4
big on the
nines.
1000th noun, the 1 ETH bounty on the cone. We've had our moments in lore.
for sure. By the way, speaking of lore, the lore on this pizza Nomo is pretty strong as well. It's very yellow.
It's very yellow, and we were like, yeah, frozen pizza feels apropos for what we've got going on.
Frozen pizza.
I mean,
hadn't
look
eaten a
at it.
frozen pizza in forever, but had one recently, and it was actually quite good. And I'm like, have they like changed like frozen pizza technology? Because I always remembered it being kind of bad and cardboardy, but I had one and it was quite good. It was alarming.
You were alarmed by the frozen pizza?
I was a little alarmed. I'm not gonna lie.
Is this what the world has come to? That you try frozen pizza and it's alarming?
Yeah. That's how you know we're going into a bear market. When frozen
Yeah.
pizza is alarming, then you know. We did get another bid. By the way. I thought that was going to be it. 35 seconds were remaining.
No, this has been my night every single night. Usually the show starts. I got to the point where I was like, I'm gonna start the show 20 minutes late. Watching the auction the entire time, but for shows have been averaging about 15 to 20 minutes recently because we've been keeping them very light. And yet I have still been sitting at my computer for an hour and a half every night to work on it. Because I just have to be paying attention to. So yeah, we're gonna be here for a little while. Don't worry.
I mean, that is kind of what this whole thing has been about. Is just like paying attention to the nouns auction. I think that's kind of goes back to why we started doing it in the first place. For those who don't know the lore, one of the founders or the main founder of nouns, the Big Daddy founder of nouns 4156, originally tweeted something to the effect of, it would be nice to make Noun O'Clock a moment for the internet, I think is how he put it. And that was sort of the inspiration for a lot of the stuff that started to be built around 9 o'clock back in 2022. At which point Nouns was like 7 months old, something like this, right? Is this correct? Yes.
Yes.
So about
June. Yeah. Well, no, closer to. Wasn't it more like
Well,
8,
almost a
9?
year.
It was
Almost
more
a
like
year.
8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
June and it was August. So
But
August to June.
What is math really, though? But yeah, people started doing
Miserable
things
little pile of
like art
secrets.
contests.
Sorry.
This is where sort of the lore of the art contest and stuff starts too. Like early on, that was a lot of the fun that we had was actually like daily art contests around 9 o'clock and then weekly art contests. And I think we've onboarded many hundreds of artists nouns over the last couple years with these art contests, which is kind of a legacy that hopefully lives on with the Yellow Collective and the art contests that we run over there as well. But yeah, that was part of it, and I remember a Discord conversation with Noun 142, who's also one half of Nounish. If you're not familiar with, or if you are familiar with Nounish, they do some pretty awesome Instagram content and other stuff, and have done some amazing content over the years too. But Dan, Noun 142 and I were chatting. We were like, hey, why don't we try to do a Twitter Spaces and just sort of have a moment for 9 o'clock live and just see where it goes. And it's sometimes ideas are dangerous, I guess is the takeaway from that, because we started doing that on June 13th, 2022, and well, here we are.
Good God, why?
1,000 9 o'clocks later. That's the only thing you can say, I guess. It's not 1,000 days later. It's 1,000 9 o'clocks later.
1,000 auctions.
1,000 auctions. I guess you could say that too.
That's what it is.
Prof, what are your earliest memories of 9 o'clock? You've been here since the very beginning. Some people don't know this, especially people who know Prof from GM Farcaster and other things, but Prof was part of the core that started doing this with us back in the day. So she's been around.
she's been around. Has been said about me in many different contexts.
You also your Margaritaville spaces also made the
Yeah.
thread earlier.
That's what I saw that, and that's immediately what I thought of is when we did 5 o'clock somewhere in the 5 o'clock somewhere bar, and it was right around 5 o'clock at that moment. I think it was a little before, and that's when I first met Robot Fish Girl and a few other folks. Chris Co-Created was there, Toshi Gammy was there.
Yeah, Gami showed up later though.
Yeah, he did. He missed the actual space, but he was there later. I think Toshi was later too. So
A little bit,
but
yeah.
There was a few
Her
of
and
us.
Chefa both.
There was a few of us around the table, and we logged into the space, and it was utter chaos.
Poap was
so
there, kinda.
Poap was there, yes.
Poap was about 15 feet away bidding on nouns.
He was, yeah.
On 2 phones.
It was crazy. It was crazy. It was a lot of fun. And we've had a couple other live moments where we did this live and or checked in live with folks, and it was a lot of fun. And my favorite memory by far is when it was one I missed, and it was when now 389, which is mine now, was FOMO'd in my honor, even though I wasn't there. And the song that came from it was Eris Me Flamingo, because that was the week that every POAP was a song.
That's right.
By Super Tight Woody. And that is the instrumental song that you hear at the beginning and end of GM Farcaster. So that I have to say is if I pick one episode, it's one I wasn't even there for. And that would be the one.
If I had to pick one that was my favorite, it was also one that you weren't there for.
Of course it was.
God damn it.
Just kidding.
Of course it was.
No, that is good lore, and that song is a banger, I have to say. Even all these years later.
All that whole week, like every one of those songs was really fun. And that was just a really special, I don't know. To me, that was like a special time, and I really love that. So that would be my favorite.
Yeah,
but
I
also the freaking
about
24-hour space. Let's never do that again.
That was for the 1-year anniversary. We did a 24-hour space. We'll come back around to that in a second. We did just get another bid, so don't worry. We don't have to stop talking just yet. 2.5 ETH rather is the current top bid now from our boy band, 24B5, which you can't argue does not sound like a boy band. But yeah, POAPs is a good touch point to talk about, because that was actually something that we did for the first almost year, I think, of 9 o'clock lives, as we had custom POAPs basically every single day, and we had one person on the team or a couple people on the team whose basically their sole responsibility was finding artists. And I know Ben Body did a lot of this, and I think Cardno helped with this early on as well. Brett, I think you were involved too with that. But yeah, finding artists to do basically a series of POAPs that were claimable by anyone who came to the show, and we did that for quite some time. And there's some really great POAPs from those early days if you go back and check. And as Prof said, we had 1 week where it was like the first week of musical POAPs that Super Tight Woody created, and essentially like each POAP was actually a QR code that brought you to the SoundCloud or wherever it was that he had dropped.
It's SoundCloud. They're still there.
SoundCloud.
They're still there. Yeah, they're still
and on Noun Sounds. You can find them on Noun Sounds and download them.
Yeah, pretty nuts. Oh yeah, that's cool. Shout out, Rudy. Just a lot of great art came from those POAPs as well. I think that might be where we started getting a lot of art from Dora as well, from Luchadora.
Yeah.
And I think she did definitely a few series with us, and we asked her to do the commemorative NFT that we've put out today, which is kind of like the 2025 version of a POAP. I know POAPs still exist, so
yeah. If everybody wants to go and mint it now, then we can do the POAP time. That was way louder than I wanted it to be.
Perfect. Yeah, I think I saw. Actually, I wanted to give a shout out. I do believe 6 actually paid for like 250 free mints or something when I looked. Highlight.xyz, where we've minted this open edition. One of the few platforms left where you still can mint an open edition. So shout out Highlight. We put this up there, and I think so aimhigher.eth, which is 6, has paid for the first 250 mints, and I don't how many have minted yet? Let me check here. 96 have been minted, so basically there's still 150 free mints, which means no platform fee. It's a free mint anyway, but there's no platform fee at all if you go and mint now, courtesy of Mr. Six. So thank you for doing that. To be honest with you, I didn't even realize how.
AKA Onion.
Yeah, Onion.
We know him as Onion.
He was an Onion back in the
He
day.
was an Onion. He became Six.
He
Which, by the way, it took me like, I don't even know, 6 months, 8 months, something like that, before I realized that 6 was his Builder DAO token number.
Oh, I didn't.
That's where it came from.
I was today years old.
Yeah, that's where 6 came from.
Interesting. Yep. I did not know that. That's some interesting lore right there.
I mean, I always thought it sooner than I did.
I always thought
it was.
I always thought it was that Onion was a strong meme and a strong name, but he obviously had a stronger connection to the 6 moniker. But maybe he'll revive the Onion one day. You never know.
He might.
I just noticed Brett did one of the things that he does so well, and used his little rat paws to dig up this tweet from 4156 back in 2022, which was, I think, indeed the tweet that sort of inspired everything we're doing, which is where he said, 9 o'clock equals midnight for absurdist internet culture. Each 9 o'clock is an opportunity for an internet-wide celebration, a 30-minute festival every day. If you want to work on something impactful in the Nouns ecosystem, think about 9 o'clock. So we did, and this is what happened. So technically, it's 4156's fault. So please direct any complaints towards the founder of Nouns. Thank you.
Yeah, complain to 4156 about me. That'll go well.
I complain about all of us. By the way, Brett's being awfully quiet over there. Brett, what's up?
No, not much. It's, a bittersweet day for a lot of us, I suppose.
Yeah.
We've been here I've been listening in for, I don't know, probably close to 600 or 700 of these shows. Maybe.
Yeah, you were listening so
more
long
than
that you basically moved in. You're kind of like the guy that.
Yeah, that I started listening when I was going to school. I'd be sitting in the back of the class with one AirPod in, playing FOMO on my phone, watching the nouns come up, and I participated in many of those early art contests, and I did plenty of POAPs. Like Ben had hit me up to do some of those, and that was able to help me like upgrade myself art-wise, like to get a better computer and to get a Wacom tablet, and it really helped me out. And then joining the team became a lot of fun to be here and celebrate the auction every single day and get to meet people. And you guys were talking about your favorite episode, and mine is still when Index got his index card.
Oh yeah.
That was a good one.
I specifically remember that one. He was, waiting for the subway and couldn't connect, and Patricio ended up getting it for him, and Toady held on to it for a few seconds to pass it over, and it was
that was the first time I held a noun, actually, albeit not very long. But yeah, for some reason Patricio trusted me to be the I guess what was I, some sort of a
the courier.
Escrow is what I was trying to think of. Yeah, some sort of a temporary escrow. Yeah. That was a fun one. That was a fun one to explain to my accountant as well. Like, what? Sorry, you held this this very expensive thing for 35 seconds. Why? Yeah, my accountant hates me anyway, so it's okay. many.
I can imagine.
I'm sorry. Your job is what?
At least Canadians can be gifted nouns without implication.
Yep, that is one good thing. Shout out Gami.
Yeah, that one was one of my favorites. It wasn't necessarily a Noun O'Clock show, but it was one of the TNS special shows we did.
It wasn't a special show. It wasn't 9 o'clock. I think it might have been 9 o'clock.
No, not. I mean, it was 9 o'clock when we announced it, but it wasn't 9 o'clock when you opened the thing. It was a special show that we put together, and you were hosting it, which is why when you were like, "I think I won," we were like, "Oh shit." Like we were all excited, but also everybody on the team, we all knew immediately, like, not only is Toady and Gami gonna get yelled at about this, I'm gonna get yelled at about this.
It was provably random using chain link. So take it up with chain link, but that was pretty wild.
It was hysterical, and I did get yelled at about it.
I'm still yelling at you about it. So
yeah, I mean, you know what? That's fair.
One of the fun things is that right now there's a prop up to fix the antenna.
Yes, that's right.
That noun was
I'm not gonna lie, I actually did not realize that was an issue with the art until I saw that prop. So, I saw that.
You don't remember Gummy talking about it?
No, I don't think I do actually. I don't remember hearing about that. So, I don't know. I guess I never looked at it that closely. I think I thought it was a gap in the handle as well.
Yeah.
Joshua Fisher would be happy.
That's always what I thought.
They stumped Toady.
Am I the only one who was paying attention? Okay.
You were yes, literally the only one.
Situation entirely normal. But
by the way, if you're just joining us, you're not too late. We are still watching the auction. 1 minute 51 seconds left. It has been going back and forth between basically two bidders, between the boy band 24B5 and Nouns Breakeven Movement.eth. Back and forth, back and forth. Current bid is 2.61 ETH. And 1 minute 31 seconds left on this. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm trying to.
If you want to watch the end of the auction with us, you can go to nounoclock.live or nomo.wtf. That's nounoclock.live or nomo.wtf.
I love it. Jessica, you're back here with us. I want to go to you before we lose you again because I keep bringing people up on stage and they keep falling off. I don't know if that's X just doing X things or if people are coming and going.
There's a flawless platform with no flaws.
Hello.
Nice to see you. I remember, Jessica, you started coming on the show when we were doing the show daily on Tavern.
Yeah.
Earlier this year, and you were a mainstay. You were always there every single day. What are your memories of 9 o'clock live?
Yeah, honestly, I miss Tavern so much. I think like for some reason this Twitter space is actually more buggy than Tavern, which is kind of insane because
it's significantly worse than Tavern.
They don't have the engineering resources, to be fair.
Okay.
Context for anyone who needs it, because Toadie's not going to explain that. Tavern was made by one person, two people, maybe.
Yeah, it was just like really smooth, and I remember like it also didn't really have chat, so we would have to be really creative with the emojis, and I think some of the creative use of emojis included the nose, like like who knows, or like, and then also
that's not what that meant.
Yeah. Oh really? Okay, right. And then also the leg is the one that I made where it's like let's go Lego, yeah, and yeah, it's just always a really fun time.
There was also a soundboard that anyone could use, which meant that every single person on there was going. And that was torture.
The soundboard is part of the lore as well, for sure, of 9 o'clock live, especially the early shows.
One of the earliest contests was a soundboard contest, and that was before I was on the team, which meant I was eligible to enter, and everybody was supposed to submit one of the sounds from the soundboard, because Woody had a soundboard that he had curated. I still have it. And it's got all of this stuff, like, another one. It's got all of like the Will's versions of everything. The video stream, which has 80 people on it at the moment, by the way, can hear it, but the Twitter Spaces can't. But all of these were on there, and basically you had to pick one of them and make your own sound based on that. And so I did the whole thing.
Yeah, there was some great voice acting that went into those.
Oh my gosh,
that was where we got
Alpha. That's my favorite one.
My
And
favorite
also
one
like
was
just
Homer
joining.
Time.
I just
Oh,
remember
yeah.
joining and just hearing the anime girl repeatedly, the little anime girl
Oh,
excited.
that
Don't do
Oh
it.
yeah, I'll spare everyone the memory.
That was
I
a
won't.
Brennan classic. Yeah, I believe that was a Brennan classic.
It was that Brennan put it on the soundboard. That was a Brennan classic, and it was partially my fault. Because he came to me and he was asking what are some sounds that I should put on the soundboard for Tavern.
Oh hell yeah.
He was like, because one, he was going to put all of the ones that I made on there, but also was asking like, because I, at that point I had sort of taken over the soundboard whole shtick for TNS, and he was like, what do you want on there? And I was like, well, here, you can go to my instance, and there's a lot of good sounds that you can get there that they're, by being there, they're royalty free, and so you can check these out. Obviously, do your due diligence, but you should be good to use most of these. And he immediately found that. And I was like, yeah, there's some sus ones on there, and he was like, yeah, this was on my front page, I'm adding it to the soundboard. I was like, don't. And then because he knew it would annoy me, he immediately used it all the time on every show.
It's so funny. Yeah. Oh, just I really want to, before I forget, congratulate the whole team. Like I think getting to show number 1000 is like an amazing achievement, and like what a huge like display of like literally showing up every day. And it sounds easy, but to do it for 1000 days is kind of insane. So yeah, huge congratulations. I'll definitely miss seeing the show around.
Yeah, you know when people talk about, like, they have that meme, like, what's this gap in your resume? The crypto meme.
Oh god. Yeah.
What is this 1000
Yeah.
gap in your resume?
Yeah. Do you know what I've been having to? Because I've been job hunting recently. Do you know what I've been telling people in interviews? I've literally had to explain. But that's sort of the practical upshot of it. But I literally had to explain, like, so I've been doing, the best way I can describe it is online radio. And they were like, what did that look like? And I was like, well, it was hosted on Twitter Spaces. And before you react the way that you absolutely should and the Twitter Space deserves, know that it did have, there was an audience that showed up consistently. Like it was for all this thing. And I would basically have to explain why I couldn't do anything else.
It was pre-Elon, okay? It was.
Yeah, narrowly, but yeah.
It was pre-Cybertruck. It was back when it was still Twitter, I think.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, definitely was.
We've got a
Definitely.
Sasquatch. Ba-ba-ba-bow. I believe
the other Noun 40.
What up?
Yeah, what is up, Sasquatch? Thanks for coming.
Of course, can't miss it.
Have you heard of Noun O'Clock? Have you heard of the good word of Noun O'Clock?
Yes.
Have you found nouns, Jesus?
If I say no, would that inspire you to do another 1000?
Good God, why?
Let me think about it. I'll get back to you tomorrow.
Yeah, that's got me like.
Hey kids, when life moves too fast, just do what I do. Curl into a ball and die.
Oh, what is that from?
It's me.
No, I know. I know.
Oh, I voiced a comic for Cyanide and Happiness.
Oh, that's cool.
They drew it, and I voiced the animatic for it.
Oh my gosh, bring back the burning dumpster one. That one is really,
oh god,
really
I don't even know where I put that. Do I still have that on the soundboard?
Great day to not be on fire. That one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
oh boy, what a great day to not be on fire. I'm not gonna do the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know I have the file. I don't think I have it on the soundboard yet, but I'll go find it and interrupt Toady with it. Don't worry.
We just got a message from Tagawa-san as well 6 minutes ago. Just sort of congratulating us on 1,000 episodes. That's kind of an interesting. I see Tagawa-san down there as well, but interesting story there as well, because at one point we sort of started the Soapbox program, which some of you might remember. At one point, we were doing a crazy amount of spaces every week. We were doing the daily space here, and then we were also doing a bunch of other spaces for different nounish, subcultures and sub
Oh, I
DAOs.
found it.
Yeah, there was some. Sorry, Jessica. Did Jessica say something?
Oh, I found the dumpster fire. I just linked it to Fishy.
Okay.
No, I was looking for the file to play it, but
Yeah, I feel like at some point, like how many were we doing a week? It was a lot. I think were we doing like
38.
30? Yeah, like over 30 spaces a week that we were facilitating for different nounish crews, which was pretty cool. And after a while, it became untenable to keep doing them all, and so we decided to sort of do a soft spin out of the Soapbox program. We basically made, we called it open sourcing it, and we made a new account which still exists here on Twitter, and we just basically gave the login to people, to trusted people who had been hosting those, and some of them hosted for a while and fell off, and others have been continuing to host spaces over there, like Tagawa-san and some of the folks from Nouns Japan, and they still do spaces like pretty regularly. I see them hosting over there on the TNS Soapbox account, which is pretty dope.
also, it's the final countdown. 2.72 coming in from 24B5.
If only there was a song for that.
If only there was a song for that. Yeah, but it makes more sense to let the countdown play out. We've done it since the beginning. All right. You know what time it is. It is
time for FOMO.
Oh, the copy frog is so good. But it also is a Nounder Noun Day, so we're going to head over to FOMO nouns for the time being. You know the drill. Thumbs up if you like it, thumbs down if you don't. If we get enough thumbs ups on a noun in the first 2 seconds or so, that is going to be the noun that's on auction for the next 24 hours.
That was a good copy frog.
Assuming it lets us.
Oh, Naptoshi. That is me right now.
You're Naptoshi? Where's my little voting thing? Oh, there it is. Once again, nouns.live.nomo.wtf, or you can go to fomonouns.wtf if you want the screen that is showing up on the stream right now, where with both of the nouns showing up very big, you're going to want to make sure you hit show noun 1450. The noun on the left with ending in the 0 is the nounder noun. The noun on the right with the gavel next to it is the auction noun. Ooh, I kind of like that band shirt wizard. I would like to get like a watch head if we can. I think that would be really nice.
That would be nice.
That's a very Ben body. Ski.
Mint?
Yeah, the minty lift.
Just mint to lift.
Mafty.
And again, I mean, the theory that that 9 o'clock live 1000 could go on forever still exists. We could just stay here forever, and refuse to mint a noun, and then technically the show will never end.
I want you to know that I'm not doing that.
There were some long settlements back in the day. I remember sometimes like an episode just going super long as we were like deliberating over which noun to settle.
Yeah, well, usually it wasn't so much deliberation as it was we were trying to get a specific noun for a different holiday or something. Like the one I think of is 420, which was noun 420. It wasn't on 420. Ooh, that's a very nice castle. But noun 420, we really wanted to get a weed head, and we stayed for, like, how long was it, RFG? You remember probably better.
45 minutes.
45, 50 minutes, yeah, something like that. The total show length was about 70 minutes.
Yeah, only to get rugged, of course. Only to get rugged for something that was not a weed head. And then of course, as luck would have it, the very next day, number 421 ended up being a weed head that came up immediately, and then we settled it. So yeah, if you're ever wondering, looking through the nouns collection, wondering why 421 is a weed head but not 420, that is your answer. But yeah, most of the time we were trying, and I feel like every time we tried to get a specific head, it was quite difficult. The gods often didn't help us with the.
Calendar of
I
Tears.
just remembered. I just remembered another favorite episode, the Boxy, the minting of Boxy, actually the auction of Boxy. I should say.
This fact has buck teeth. And it's pretty hilarious.
Hey, there's a watch.
Underwatch.
Yeah, Nounder watch. That's not bad. Could go for it.
Après smoke.
Are we going for anything specific here today? Any requests?
I was saying either like a watch head or maybe a calendar.
Suppose we get the last boombox with no antenna.
It's gonna change. It's retroactive.
Yeah, well, it'll always exist in the lore.
It'll always exist on YouTube where this is being streamed. I'm so tempted.
Yeah.
Is it beautiful, beautiful beanie?
I hit the button because we got a bunch. We got enough votes. Yeah, for the Nounder now, and I don't know if we're gonna get it. No, it didn't.
How did we miss that? Oh man! Of course, it wouldn't be a 9 o'clock live show if we didn't miss a beautiful.
It might not settle at all.
Is it still trying?
I don't know.
Oh, you're wondering if FOMO's not working. Might have to snipe.
Oh, there it goes.
Well,
and there's the watch I was looking for. God
and this actually works well. Wait, is it the
watch?
No. This works well because this is 1,000 episodes. We have run this into the ground.
Yeah. So now it's time for Nomo Nouns. If you're not there already, nounoclock.live, nomo.let. If you're going to see all these nouns arrayed before you, you're going to pick your absolute favorite from among them. Spam click it with all your might every 10 seconds. Half of them are eliminated until we're left with just one. That's going to be the Nomo Noun of the day. Make sure you've signed in with your wallet or your clicks will not be counted. Once again, sign in with your wallet or your clicks will not be counted.
Is there any way for my clicks to be counted if I haven't?
Sign in with your wallet. Yeah, if you sign in with your wallet, then your clicks will be counted. I could get Nomo to explain it to you if that would help.
It would always.
Not in 3 seconds.
Final round.
Yeah,
here we go. I can't hear anybody over the Nomo noises. I'm going for this crying calendar.
Be the noun of the day.
Actually, yeah, I'm switching to the beanie.
Please don't ever say beanie in front of a Canadian.
It's a beanie.
Final round.
On paper.
Frog versus whatever hat it's called. 3, 2, 1, fight.
A beanie is like.
Too warm.
All right, what is this called?
This is called Nomo Cold Ears.
Normal cold ears wins. Fatality.
Hey, you're the one who told me what it was called. I just.
And it's yellow.
Natalie.
I do like that it's the TNS colors. That's the other reason.
Natalie is a whole era of 9 o'clock live. Natalie, there is a
by
whole
herself, honestly.
Catalog of Natalie episodes of 9 o'clock live where she's just going off. So, so it wouldn't be a final show without Natalie. What's up? Why are you here at 3 a.m?
It's 12 here. Hey
Okay.
friends, I just finished my homework, and so my brain needs to decompress. But I'm here, and I would not miss this for the world. Thanks to Sybil our local Google Calendar, human Google Calendar, to send me a reminder because I sure in the hell was eating snacks and getting doom scrolling on LinkedIn. Um, so
I don't
I
believe you. I don't believe anyone doom scrolls on LinkedIn.
I don't either. Um, but Sybil sent me a message and said, "Oh, 9 o'clock, the last episode is a thing, and I had to be here. I would not miss the shit for the world."
I love it. Doom scrolling on LinkedIn, or as they call it on LinkedIn, scrolling.
I'm never on LinkedIn. I was just fucking around, but that's where all crypto people go to die. So absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't think I even have a LinkedIn. I want to see Sasquatch's LinkedIn. Does Sasquatch have his Sasquatch on his LinkedIn? That's the real question.
I won't touch LinkedIn with a 10-foot pole. Stay far away.
Is there such a thing as an anti-sponsorship? Because I feel like this is becoming an anti-sponsorship of LinkedIn. It's like when a competitor.
They have LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn is like you can stream to LinkedIn from StreamYard, and I'm like, why would we do that? Like,
I think you should actually. Now that I know it's an option, I just want to see who tunes in. I'm interested.
Noun O'Clock now streamed on LinkedIn.
And also sponsored by Stamps.com.
Yes, sponsored by Stamps.com and anti-sponsored by LinkedIn.
I'm honestly amazed Stamps.com never told us to stop.
Yeah, at the very least, they owed us a cease and desist.
The least they
right?
could have done.
Yeah, come on, they paid Joe Rogan.
They could have given us a cease and desist and they didn't, and I'm still kind of upset about that. I'm not gonna lie.
For those who don't know the lore, for a while, but definitely for like 3 or 4 months, we were doing a sardonic Stamps.com ad read on the show every day, which was like a hopeful sponsorship. Not really hopeful, but just more funny. Pretending to be sponsored by Stamps.com. They never called. We thought they might call. They didn't. They never did.
They just never did. But it was a lot of fun.
The one that got away.
They did tell us they're not interested.
Art contests.
That's right. We had a stamp art contest where people made their Nounish stamps. They got good value for their non-sponsorship. You can't say they didn't.
They really did. All right, I have to go back to bed because then I have to get up and stream at 8:30. And also, Crypto the Game is kicking my ass, but it's a lot of fun. So,
do you want to give us a quick summary of Crypto the Game before you leave? Because I've been watching. I've been trying to watch.
Being in. It's as if you're in 10 different DAOs, and it's the fork for all of them all at once. It's really fun.
I'm a head out. That's what I think when you say that.
It's like Cast Out, but worse. For
Cast Out was a lot. It was a lot.
Cast Out was a lot.
I should know.
It's much worse.
But I don't know.
Yeah, it was bad.
Cast Out was not this bad. Crypto the Game is a lot of fun. It's Dylan, who used to work for HQ Trivia, created this game. It is an online version of Survivor, and I've had many moments where I'm like, oh, okay, this definitely feels like Survivor, minus the mud and bugs. But
I saw some crazy stuff going out on a non-cast where someone was putting a whole cabal on blast.
That's my tribe.
Oh no.
Yes. So if you go read that, you'll understand what my world has been like for this week. It's been interesting.
Did you get decimated?
No, we just no. It doesn't. It's you don't take the whole tribe out. So 15 people left today from ours, but it was interesting. It was cabal on cabal crime. So I managed to
What the fuck are you saying?
I can't even explain it, but it's really fun. So there's a challenge. Most days you have a challenge. If you win immunity, your tribe doesn't have to vote anybody out. If you don't, you have to vote people out. There's a certain number. There's like 800 players to start, and then it whittles down. We're at 315 now. Tomorrow the game changes. I think it becomes an individual game. If you go to Crypto the Game on here, you'll see all about it. Or go to Boys Club, and they've been doing a nightly space, like live stream, kind of breaking everything down. And that's probably the best place to get info, or GM Farcaster in the morning, because I'll be talking about it tomorrow. But it's been fun. Chompix played for a little bit. He played on behalf of Lil Nouns. We sponsored him to play.
Chompix is here, by the way. I think
I saw him in the audience earlier. And then Adrian played for a hot minute. I gifted her one, and she got like a few days in the game, and then she's like, "I'm done."
Really?
She basically quit.
She didn't. She couldn't do it again. She got backstabbed. She got backstabbed by some jerk in the first cast out.
That's what it was. No, she just couldn't. She just wasn't interested. Cast outs all played on Farcaster, so it's a little different. And it's much smaller, so she just wasn't into it. Yeah, it's been fascinating, but it's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it, but also it is taking an insane amount of time and mental energy.
Yeah.
I played the Brick Breaker game, which I used to play this game on my phone called Balls, and it was the same game. It's the same game. I know, exactly. I know. And it's the same game today, and I played for twice. I played 2 hours to try and get my score to like the max score, and I only got to like 172. But the max score was 250. But yeah, it's been a crazy week. So
that reminds me of me staying up until like 3 a.m. playing cast out games.
Exactly, like you could everyone who's played both games, and there's a bunch. Like JC Sparks on Farcaster, she's like, "Do you understand now what you did to us?" I'm like, "Yeah, I have no regrets." I have no regrets whatsoever. So anyway, Casto coming back
we'll make sure to
in
come
May
and join
after
you.
FarCon. So there you go. Cast Out will be back.
Awesome.
And I think Dylan from Crypto the Game is going to play Cast Out. So there you go.
Oh, nice.
It's going to be fun.
Very cool.
All right. So with that, I do have to go.
We'll be sure to all come and join you for your 1,000th show as well. For GM
cool. That should be about 5 years from now. See you then.
Maybe yeah, it takes a lot longer when you don't do it daily, huh?
Yeah, we only do it we do it 3 days a week, and sometimes we take weeks off. So
you guys are smart. Yeah, that's what some people have called smart. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My sound card screwed up. Did you say you take weeks off?
Yeah.
You don't. It's not.
Off. Yeah.
You can do that?
Yeah,
and sometimes Adrienne just takes weeks off and makes me work for her.
That too. That happens as well. Yep.
I didn't.
There's one of those coming up. She's taking a
Toady,
week off
you lied to me.
Let's just take the whole week off.
Lying is a strong word. It was more like
we did do a 24-hour thing, but like 8 of those hours was pre-recorded.
Yeah, you cheated.
So
you cheated is what you did.
All right, but really,
when we did our 24-hour space,
that was amazing.
Fell asleep.
Yeah.
Some people we won't mention fell asleep during.
Oh, we won't mention them, will we?
Yeah, and that's why I actually bought naptoshi.eth and gifted it to her. Yeah.
As if
back in the day.
We should have invited Naptoshi to the space. Actually,
I did. Saw her in Denver at ETH Denver. Actually.
Nice.
Yeah, it was good to see her. So, Collective Noun just popped up. There we go.
Oh yeah, we should.
All right, I gotta run.
Yeah, I was gonna start talking about that as soon as we.
All right.
Wrapped
Have a
up
good
that
one.
conversation.
Thank you, everybody. RFG, it's been a pleasure. Symbio, Brett, Toady, all the rest. Love y'all.
See ya.
Good night. Good night. Have a good night. I'm not sorry.
It looks like our friend NetNose picked up a Collective Noun.
Yeah, Collective Noun number 537. Went to NetNose for 0.012.
It's a good one. And NetNose is here. I don't know if he's shy today or if he wants to say hello.
I wanted to see this last episode in an optimistic way.
You're on stage?
He's here.
I know
Incredible.
it's strange, but I can talk actually. But
I had no idea.
In a very bad English, so I don't talk too much.
Well, we appreciate you. You've probably been here for the last at least 300 Noun O'Clock lives. I want to say you've been around.
Year. Well, not while I was sleeping, but for the rest of the year, yes.
Yeah. When it was possible.
The rest of them, you just programmed a bot to join.
Of course.
Well, congratulations on your collective noun 537. And of course, if you're an artist listening to this or listening back, a lot of the art contests that we used to do for 9 o'clock live have since sort of moved over to our initiatives with the Yellow Collective. And so if you haven't checked out Yellow Collective yet, check it out at yellowcollective.xyz. We're pretty active over on Farcaster. There's a channel called /yellow where you can find out more information, but it's a fork of nouns on base with all community drawn art. And every day, one goes up for auction, and the proceeds go to support art and artists and creators on chain. So we do a lot of art contests over on Warpcast using rounds and other ways to reward people for being creative. So check us out.
Your description is so much more calm than mine.
Okay, now you try.
Well, no, I mean, because I've been doing this every night for the past 3 months, and so I'm usually just blazing through the entire show, going like, Yellow Collective is an on-chain club devoted entirely to funding artists in the Nouniverse and beyond. If you want to find out more information, you could go to yellowcollective.xyz or check out the Yellow channel on Warpcast if you want to know more.
Yours basically sounds like the side effects.
Billy Mays here.
No, it sounds like the list of side effects on a drug addict. I thought when you said a different level.
Wait, actually, that is so true.
Crazy discharge.
Yeah, there's oh man, I have a list in my brain that I would have to find of side effects. It's right there. It's in my head.
I have a list in my mind that I would have to find is the most RFG thing I've ever heard. While you're searching for this list, Collective Noun 538 is up for auction for 24 hours. Just need to mention, it is a sushi roll, a maki roll, pretty nice one too, with a very reflective, colorful shirt, and it is up for auction for 24 hours. And of course, there's also an auction for a noun for the next 24 hours, which is a coffee bean. We didn't get a chance to really savor Toadie's pun about that earlier because RFG was so anxious to get into Nomo, but it's okay. We can listen back to the recording and enjoy it then.
No, I listen. I heard it, and I know that if given the opportunity, you would run the pun into the ground again.
Into the grounds, yes. Well, some might say that it's grounds for dismissal. If you want me to leave.
But yes, Collective Noun number 538 is a beautiful maki roll. It's having a little bit of a party, which is understandable on a based background. If you do want to pick this up, yellowcollective.xyz is the place to be. The Yellow Collective is an on-chain club devoted entirely to funding artists in the Nouniverse and beyond. That is not just visual artists. That is any sort of artist. It doesn't matter if you're a musician, an actor, a dancer. If you can mint it and put it on-chain, we're interested in funding it. So check it out there. That's what I usually say. Also, bear in mind, side effects may include nausea, headaches, insomnia, constipation, oily discharge, severe deja vu, stiffness in joints, blurred vision or temporary blindness, loss of life, diarrhea, thrombosis, and rectal bleeding. So,
a few of those things don't sound very good, I have to be honest with you.
I found it in my brain.
You forgot slightly nounish.
Yeah.
But I figured that was understood based on the name and the general vibe and the noggles. And the the everything about it.
It was the free square.
It was
Well, we've talked about the collective noun of the day. We've talked about the noun of the day. We of course minted the Nomo of the day together earlier. Let's talk about Nomo for a quick minute. Nomo, if you don't remember, if you weren't here when we launched it, the whole point of Nomo, or why we originally thought of creating a game like this is that at one point we were getting rugged on FOMO, which has been definitely a common occurrence throughout the history of 9 o'clock live. Just because obviously it's an open protocol, anyone can settle the noun, and that's fine. But there's been some times when people were like legitimately just doing it to fuck with us. Essentially, there was at least like a few months where someone was using a bot early in, I want to say like late 2022. Someone was using a bot to just insta settle every single noun. It was not very fun, and so we were like, well, fine, that's fine. We don't have a nice FOMO experience to play on the show, but let's create something that we always will be able to play, and that's kind of where Nomo came from. It was like, hey, if we can't choose the noun of the day, we'll choose the noun that didn't quite make it of the day, and that's where Nomo came from, and the idea of like choosing it and playing the game and figuring out what the next Nomo would be, and it's been cool. We originally launched Nomo on mainnet, and then I remember do you remember Pepe? Do you remember when Pepe blew up on mainnet and nothing worked? No one could do anything for a period of time because gas was so high. That was the month when we were like, okay, we really need to migrate Nomo over to to an L2 because it just wasn't doable anymore. We couldn't even play the game, and so at that point we migrated it over to Optimism, and that's where it lives to this day. So it was kind of our first foray into the optimistic roll ups, and that was pretty cool. And I guess I just want to say thank you to everybody who's played Nomo with us over this time, over the past 1,000 episodes. It's always been fun to play. We're not killing Nomo. Nomo still exists. We haven't quite decided yet what we're going to do with it because obviously part of it hinges on playing together and choosing the noun of the day. But we've got a couple ideas of how we might allow Nomo to live on. So keep your ear to the ground, and we'll have more news about that. But for the time being, though, you can always just play it yourself and mint one, every day that you want to. So, but this will be the last, 9 o'clock live Nomo noun that was actually, chosen by us here on the space. So, Nomo noun 1451. If you want to grab it, you can grab it at 9o'clock.live. Also, only for 24 hours.
Awesome. I haven't found the audio recording of the dumpster fire, but I did find Nomo, and I was not going to play it over you. So I was like, I need to not do this.
It might have been more entertaining, actually, but
I mean, listen, I've still got it queued up. I can do it at any given time if I have to. I mean, if you want to hear two of me talking at the same time, I can do that. But I'm not going to because that would be obnoxious.
I mean, I'm always down for Nomo, but I might not be the.
I found a lot of shit posts in the process of doing this that I made for the show.
That's part of the fun.
So many.
One of the things we've always done on the show, aside from our auction shenanigans, as we've talked about, and we've had a lot of guests on and special guests and talk to people who are building in nouns. We always do a check-in as well on nouns props and see what's popping. And I just took a quick look at Nouns Camp and was happy to see that the Nouns Deli relocation has gone through. So for 174 votes for, it does look like the deli is going to be relocated to Paran Market. So that's great. Nice to see.
Love it.
I really want to go to Nouns Deli, so this gives me more runway to be able to get there.
I'm excited about that. Yeah.
I mean, for this prop, I think it was good to read the votes from people who actually live in Melbourne and sort of see what their thoughts were on that. And it's pretty clear. Like Goldie voted pretty early on and just said, yeah, like this is definitely the place to be. My one reservation on this was just like the deli looks so cool. All the pictures and videos I've seen of it, and I'm like, oh, is it gonna still look as good? And I'm sure they will do a great job of doing the branding again. But I was a bit sad in that sense, just because like the location they have looks so awesome, in my opinion.
Yay!
But yeah, congratulations to Now's Deli, and if you are in Melbourne, make sure you go and check it out before and after the move. Only other props that we have going on, we've got Drew Hanlon plus nouns plus base, a future on chain. This one's sitting at 10-4 and 42 against, having lost the Nouncil vote, and there's a vote against from Mr. Robo and Sloppy NFTs. Have you guys talked about this one on the show this week?
Not much.
Mm-hmm. There was some discussion at the Nouncil meeting. It's an interesting one. I think Cares Club has put so much work into bringing interesting people into nouns, and I think that's really awesome. Frankie is really great that way, and I think Drew Hanlon's amazing as well. I think this was the only reason why this one's going to be contentious is just because the ask is pretty high, but it is pretty nuts. Like the caliber of people that they're looking to get involved in nouns is pretty cool. But I'll be curious to see
Scrolling
what
through the prop now, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty neat actually. So I think they're doing part of it is doing like a show, and some of the guests are pretty cool. Like they've got Gary V lined up, J. Cole, which is pretty amazing. Frankie, can I get a sit in on that interview? Just passes. ASAP Rocky, Giannis, Alexis Ohanian, Michael Rubin. So definitely a stacked lineup. It'll be one to watch for sure. Voting ends in 17 hours actually on this one. So I don't know if people are kind of waiting, biding their time, because so far haven't been too many votes, especially individual votes. So if you haven't voted yet, go read that one. It's a big one. Make sure you have your say on chain. And then we've got highlight the Ariel in Boombox. And this is one from Fatty But Happy that we talked about earlier, and that I mentioned I had never noticed that on certain backgrounds you can't see the antenna really at all on the boombox.
On either background, really. You can't see it at all on the cool background, and you can barely see it if you squint on the warm.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I just always thought it was a handle of some kind, like a weird... I don't know what I thought it was, to be honest. Maybe I thought it was two, like, dueling antennas. But I definitely missed it. And I own one of these. This is crazy. I mean, I owned that one, 401, that happens to be shown, actually, in the prop. 401 was the original one that Gami used, I think, right?
It was the original boombox. There were no boomboxes before 401, and it was, you know,
there you
go. That was the forgeries noun.
The forgeries noun. Very cool. Remember when Gami joined 9 O'Clock Live
This
using
whole
a voice master?
Using a voice. So I want you to imagine just
the
entire time these people came up onto the stage and they were talking like this, and they totally weren't obviously Australian. And they were talking about how they were starting this sort of project that they were going to use 401 for. And I'm realizing that with the combination of the monotone voice and the bass, I just sound like present day Ben Body.
This is so funny.
Yeah. I mean, we thought it was some like crazy grand experiment. Well, it was, but we didn't know it was Gami at first until later.
Who's this we, Kimosabe?
Nobody knew. Nobody knew that day. That first day that he was there, nobody knew it was
He did try to suppress the accent, and it was very funny. But yeah, and then they started bidding on other nouns, like doing like meme bids, you know, like 0.069, with wallets that had like certain words in them. It was like something .lock. There's actually a recording of Ben explaining how this worked. It's early in our YouTube, down during the low-fat Noun O'Clock episodes that I was first editing. Was when this was happening. And I distinctly remember Ben explaining this in very technical terms, and everybody else on the show being like, "I understood some of those words." Yeah, and I remember I put a GIF of somebody like bobbing their head because Ben sounded like he was rapping at one moment. It was. Anyway, go look in the old 0 Rates Media YouTube archives if you want to see ancient content at this point. That was fun.
Ancient lore.
The ancient lore. That was when that was sort of the first time we ever used a bunch of sound effects that we didn't use during the show, and then we added them to the show and stopped adding them in post.
Yeah, that's. I mean, doing a show every day and then also doing an edit of the show every day was pretty crazy. That was not sustainable. That's for sure.
I mean, the edit wasn't that bad. It was when the edit, because you and I both get carried away when we're editing, and we were the ones who were editing those shows. And it was like, yeah, we could just, cut out all of the funny clips and we could, throw it together in 20 minutes and be done with it. Or we could spend 3 hours and find a whole bunch of custom GIFs and sound effects and yada, yada, yada.
It took me a long time to cut out all of Natalie's tirades as well. That was where most of the effort.
That was a really, really important step so that we could get sponsorships.
We called them low. Oh my God. We called them low-fat versions, but really it was just, it was just Natalie removed 9 o'clock live. It went down from a 2-hour show to a 20-minute show.
We haven't released the Natalie cut of. We should do that. We should release the Natalie cut of those earlier episodes where it's all of the bits that we cut out.
The Natalie supercut.
If you'd like to hear me say the F word repeatedly for like 2 hours.
And you would.
And I have.
And you have.
All right, coming back to the props for a quick moment so we can close this chapter. Prop 766 is the only other one that is live and it's about to start. And this was a bit of a controversial one. I think it's the first time anyone's ever put up a prop to cancel a stream. We had Wyland.eth putting up a prop to cancel the stream for .nouns for the NNS protocol, which I think there's $250,000 remaining on that. It's a quarter of the way in since the prop passed in January. So there's been some good discussion. I recommend Nouners go and read on Nouns Camp or whatever client you like to use. There's been some good back and forth, some good updates from .nouns. Yeah, I mean, just generally, I'll be curious to see how this vote goes. I do think that it's good to keep people accountable. I personally think NNS is definitely always working behind the scenes. Maybe they could have done a few more public updates to make sure people knew, but I know like with Yellow, they've definitely been in touch with us and helping us to grow our community, and some other sub-DAOs and communities have said the same, and Dom's he's been great that way. So I do believe he's building. But yeah, I think it's interesting. I don't know. I think if Nouns is not careful though, like if you start canceling streams left, right, and center of people who are actually building, it's no builder in their right mind is going to put up a prop for a stream. That's sort of the other side of this, like the cooling effect. Because it just feels nuts. Before this, it's like, oh, a stream, and yeah, it seems fine. Like Nouns is not gonna run away or go broke in the time that this prop is up. So what's the risk? And now the risk is kind of clear.
Apparent.
So, so we'll see what comes of this. But always good to have discussions on chain, and so that's good to see. And I think .nouns posted an official prop date as well as a result of this. So
they did.
Go check it all out. And it starts in 42 minutes. So important vote to make sure you go and take care of. And that is our last prop update for 9 o'clock live.
How many books and ugly Gary V drawings do I have to buy to be able to see this interview?
Sorry,
what? Which interview?
You talked about the props with the Gary V interview things. And I said, how many books and ugly drawings do I have to buy to see this?
Approximately $238,000 and 5 nouns. It may be open for a counter bid. We'll keep you posted.
Excellent.
Well, 1,000 episodes.
Cool. Where has the time all gone
There's
to?
Just one more thing I wanted to shout out. I pinned up a post from Mike Good. He went down to looks like a bookstore maybe and found the new Thrasher magazine.
Nice.
It has the novels right in the middle. I went and grabbed a copy too today.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty sick.
What's the backstory there for anyone who's hearing?
That was during Nounstown and Nouns Fest. Bob threw an event at his spot out in California as well for a day, and a bunch of people went out there and they were skating, and he had the noggles put up on his mega ramp as a rail that goes through the middle. And then this was another skater who was just out there shooting stuff and practicing on the mega ramp, and Thrasher ended up using it for part of his interview.
Pretty cool.
And he was talking about how cool it is to skate at Bob's mega ramp and hang out with all these pros, because he grew up watching all these guys.
Yeah, it's cool. The photo is pretty awesome. The spread.
And it's the Nouns banner on Twitter too.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's fun.
Very cool.
I like
Mr.
that.
Fisher,
I like that a lot.
Mr. Joshua Fisher has shown up just in time. 1,000 episodes, sir. What is up?
Wow, 1,000 episodes. Feels like just yesterday that I was making the commitment to come to every 9 o'clock for at least 24 hours. I said, as this thing goes around the world, I'm going to come every day until we go around the clock at least once. And I did that. And then I was like, oh man, that was tough.
I'm done.
And then you paced out and we proceeded to do it 7 more times.
Yeah, it's like 6 or 7 times, right, that we've gone around?
It's 7. It's actually technically 8 times. Or 7.5. It has been. I have a little days counter for days since June 13th, 2022, which was when we started. We started this on June 13th, 2022. It has been 1,008 days.
Wow. A lot has happened in that.
We started at about 2 or 3 p.m. EST, and we started this show at about 2:30 a.m. EST. So about 7.5 days, about a week and a half that we have lost to drift.
And you know what? Same ETH price. Crazy.
Actually, yeah, roundabout.
Right.
Oh, we laugh so we don't cry.
Yeah, well, actually, that was before it went down even lower. It dropped to like 800 when we were starting out.
That's right.
Actually, that was Wag's prediction. There was like a point where I was like, "Oh no, ETH is going to go to 800," and I was like, "I hope not." And it hit exactly 800 and bounced back.
3 moments later.
Wag had need to make sure that his buy got filled.
He knew. He knew.
Nice.
It's pretty. It is pretty impressive in its own way. I mean, one of the things that it's so interesting about Nouns is like there is no leadership. It's like, people like that. It's just crazy. Like things like when we did the Rose Bowl, like I remember seeing like some of the the founders, and they're like, it's just wild that like a thing that we came up with, like we really had nothing to do with this big thing that like happened around this brand. It's just like someone else like picked up the ball and just like ran with it, and it's just like it's so cool.
Yeah, I remember the Nouners saying, I never thought we'd get a sponsorship from Stamps.com, but here we are.
But here we are.
Some things just take on a life of their own.
But somehow, some way, Stamps.com still came through.
Yeah, give us a call. Even though the show's over now, Stamps.com, we could hook you up.
We can start it back up. We can
get
do
you on a
another. We can
banner
do another 1,000 run with
for the right
all
for the right
stamps.
price. For the right price, you call us. You call us up. Maybe
I
we
feel
can
like
get a
at any
banner
moment
and
now
we
I'm
can
gonna have to
do that.
launch into the this.
We do need a noun stamp though.
I mean, you could play that, but the ask is really to just go and mint this amazing NFT edition that Dora put together. She did it pretty quick too. I only thought to do this like last week, and she was pretty quick to put this together, and
He's the best.
as she always is. So thank you, Dora, for this, and also for putting up with my like constant changes to the to the request as well. I'm like, oh, can you add a sailboat? You know,
Just a great example of an artist who came to nouns, I think through TNS and
yeah.
became obsessed with it like we were. And, I think there's something really infectious about the energy that, this show brings to nouns. So, I
Well,
hope that
it
there'll be
has been
more.
nice to see the posts on Warpcast and on Twitter of people saying that they, definitely were positively affected by their time with us. So yeah, keep it up. Stop, don't stop. But no,
Well,
I mean,
I can only speak for myself in saying I became friends with some of my favorite people that I've ever known in my life. So I appreciate y'all.
Aww.
100%.
I don't have a sound for that.
And just to be clear, the friendship's not over. So I mean, it's not. We're not putting an end
I
to
thought you were
that.
gonna say, just to be clear, like the friendship's only one way. You became our friend.
This was all contractual. Yeah.
The Noun
We do
O'Clock
have.
crew has been consistently inspiring. Or like Robot Fish Girl, you're just like an amazing host, and Toady, you're also an amazing host, but like in two very different ways. And
I thought you were going to say,
always
Tony, you're also here.
no, I mean just so quick on your feet, Toady. Exemplifying that right now. And then
You're still the pun
RFG,
king.
you've always had like such an entertaining attitude and like bringing the energy every day. It's really so impressive. So, and then all the people behind the scenes, Ben, I don't want to name everybody, Joshua, Symbiotic, but there's so many people who've contributed to making this awesome. So, shout outs.
I think that is the nicest way somebody has ever called me crazy in my life.
Well, the fact of the matter is, there's no way this episode 1,000 would be episode 1,000 without your efforts, RFG. Like your Herculean efforts to keep the show going, especially as I've been spending a lot more time with Jack building out the video and the Zero Pod. It's just there's no way that I could have done the show every single day. Oh, and also having 2 kids under 2. So yeah, it's been a lot, and you've
both
been
of which were born during the run of this show.
yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say you were non dad when we started the show, right?
I was a lonely frog, back in those
Yeah.
days.
He was just
Zero
making
tadpoles.
Each was the same price, but the amount of money that I put away for college funds was not. So
yeah, he was he was making dad jokes, but in anticipation at the time.
I was practicing.
Oh my god.
I wanted to say too, I wanted to return some of the flowers to Sasquatch as well, because one of the things we've tried to do over the course of the last 1,000 episodes here is also just be a community hub for nouns, and that meant like every time a different community or builder or ecosystem within nouns had something that they wanted to host, we would jump up and just offer to collaborate. We did this with Suprio with the Nouns movie. Every single premiere that they did, we helped to to do the spaces for those. If there was like an important debate or something that was happening in the community, we would have ELAD on or 4156 on to talk about important pieces, and esports was another piece of that, and Sasquatch has been great about including us, and we did a couple of the live streams for your deep runs into championships. And those have been really fun, and also we had a co-sponsorship with Matcha for a while that you brought us in on, and so it's been fun, and I appreciate you, Sasquatch, always being so collaborative and always being down to jam with us.
Yeah, and the fact that y'all been going for 1,000 days makes me realize that like esports has been alongside you, because I forget how many props apart we were, but it was in pretty short succession that I think like both of our projects really started with our first props. So yeah, long time.
1,000 days of esports, of Nouns esports, at least. Pretty cool.
Been a trip.
Yeah, I think you the first esports prop was like what, 68, right?
Yep.
Which, like,
and then
a bit of a lack of patience, but that's fine.
That was on my mind, but like we just wanted to be professional,
Yeah.
I thought somebody, like just like the 420 now, and we thought somebody had something really good for 69, and yeah, I think it was something kind of tame, unfortunately, but what can you do?
Always the way it is.
Yeah, and then I think the first what was the pilot proposal? Because the first full prop was 101. But I forget, was that the pilot was 101?
Did you all get some like small grants or anything before then or something?
I wasn't on the team yet.
Oh, you're talking
I just remember Toady being the Noun Punk guy. He's like, who's this Noun Punk? Like, what's going on with
that
these
was how
Noun
we
Punks?
met, was me interviewing you as part of Noun Punks.
What is going on with the Noun Punks lately? That's what I'd like to know.
They're still around.
Let's not look into that.
Hey, you know what? Noun Punks had some really great art. I will say that. And at one point was like one of the most thriving NFT communities in nouns. So it's been interesting. There's been lots of chapters to this story for sure.
Yeah, at this point, I think Noun Punk's greatest achievement was springboarding you.
You mean firing me?
Yeah, well, I was trying to put a good spin on it. Hey, listen, I also wound up at the Noun Square because I got fired, so
Rite of passage. Fatty but happy is here. What's up, Fatty?
GM, congrats on the round number.
Round numbers for everyone. You get a round number, and you get a round number, and you get a round number. Fatty, any memories you want to share? We were just kind of starting to get into our rap mode here, but I saw you come up and wanted to say hello.
Yeah, don't know. Just Noun O'Clock creates the friendship on times that it's maybe 3 in the morning or 5 in the afternoon. It always changes, and everybody just connects and sparks magic. Seeing pixel art, like definitely we're weird.
Definitely we're weird. We all agree on that. Oh, how did everyone get muted?
I think you hit the mute space button because I was not even tapped in.
Maybe. Could have been. I have very large thumbs, so it is possible. By the way, it's too bad Gami's here now and not earlier when you were doing a terrible impression of him.
I was doing an excellent impression of him.
Did you do it again?
No, I was. Hey, Gami. Yeah, no, I was talking about when you came on as Forgeries, and nobody knew who you were because you were just doing,
like. Yeah, well, we've got this interesting project coming up that we're going to be using this noun for, and I hope it's going to turn out into something interesting, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
And then I realized that putting the voice changer on that accent just makes me sound like present day Ben Body, so I stopped it.
Which I personally
hit the vape.
I personally haven't seen Gami and Ben Body in the same room. Me personally, I haven't. So
yeah, I did used to have a really big beard, so yeah.
Yeah, you used to have a really big beard with enough piercings in it to pick up cable. Is that how you used to be?
What are your thoughts on
Yeah, I have seen them in the same room. Usually Gami's somewhere in the front talking to people, and Ben is sitting in a corner somewhere, looking like the Noun Father, just going like, "You come to me today on the eve of my daughter's barbecue," like.
Yeah, we've been in Japan at the same time. We're in Australia at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Same mountain, same chairlift once.
Ooh.
Actually, same bed too. We slept together.
Oh wow!
I didn't get any
Have
sleep.
you been in Bonnie's shower? Is the question.
Alpha.
Or was that?
Smells like a train.
How close did you get to his Ben body? That's what we need to know. The people need to know.
Close enough. Where is Ben?
I don't
Not
know.
here.
Ben, you missed our 1000th show, bro. What the hell?
Oh, crying.
What time is it there?
7 p.m.
Really,
from
really
work,
no
yeah.
excuse. Really no excuse. It's 4 a.m. for us. So Ben, first of all, how dare you?
Far out, good effort. I was just reflecting on the forgeries thing. Remember how it seemed like a real forgery when Toadie won the Noun?
Yeah, we talked about that earlier.
We were talking about that earlier.
I told him to take it up with Chainlink, so.
Yeah, Sergey rigged it, apparently. He was a big fan of the show.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Imagine Gami came on today just to tell us that it was actually rigged the whole time.
Yeah, Chainlink doesn't work.
Yeah, remember when...
Chainlink's a LARP.
It's not the verifiable random function, it's the verifiable random fallacy.
Oh.
Yeah, paid good money for that.
As the old saying goes, if you can't baffle them with brilliance, befuddle them with bullshit.
Gami, what's
Story of my life, really.
What's your favorite memory of the last 1000 episodes?
I used to really enjoy when you guys would keep me company when I was living in my van.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Oh my god, I remember that.
That wasn't too long ago. Keep me warm.
Yeah, in your ankle boot.
Yeah, broken ankle, moon boot. Oh, it's great memories. Oh,
Those were the days.
It's sad to see the end of it, but it's also like Fatty said before. It's so cool. Like, congrats on 1,000. Like 1,000 in a row.
1,000 in a row.
1,000 auctions in a row.
I don't think I've done anything 1,000 days in a row.
I haven't even brushed my teeth 1,000 days in a row. I'm honest.
Maybe don't share that, but okay.
Oh.
Sorry. I haven't either. But that's the life of a stoner.
I'm just saying there might be a day somewhere that got missed. I don't know.
Incredible.
It's bittersweet, but it's congratulations regardless. Yeah.
I mean, the main thing is the main difference is like you can say, oh, I never missed a day showering or whatever, but you don't have a team helping you to remember that. Probably, it's all about
and they shower you in compliments and stuff anyway. So
Ayo.
same thing. So what's the plan
trying
now?
to come at you for your pun, dude?
Right?
Yeah, not a chance. No one can match you, man. But what's the plans now? Like where to from here?
Well, for 9 o'clock live for the spaces here on X, it's basically a pause. So we'll see where we end up and if we end up doing a different show more long term. But definitely the daily show. This is the end of the line for this one, and we're going to keep focusing on what we have been sort of leaning into recently, which is more of the video content with Zero Rights Reserved. The podcast and Jack's content has been getting a lot of really good reception. So continuing to sort of lean into that, and of course we've talked about this throughout this show as well. But all of the sort of legacy of being here to empower artists and whatnot, as we have been for 1,000 shows, is hopefully that gets carried on in what we're doing with Yellow Collective. That was kind of always the intention. So it's definitely not goodbye. Awesome. It's just kind of like a reshuffling. But I feel like 9 o'clock live has just taken on a life of its own in a way, I guess. Everything came from it, I guess. Maybe that's why. Like the Noun Square sort of came out of 9 O'Clock Live, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Zero Rights
Well,
came
it
out
sort of
TNF.
it started as 9 O'Clock Live, and then it was rebranded to the Noun Square, and then the entire network became the Noun Square, and the show became 9 O'Clock Live at the Noun Square.
Yeah.
And then flash forward, and we've now rebranded to Zero Rights Media. And yeah.
Great name, by the way.
All stemmed from Zero Rights Reserved.
And also just actually, funny enough, a little bit inspired by like esports and some of the other orgs that have been doing such a good job in Nouns. Like one of the things that I think works so well about Nouns esports is that it's not just like slap Nouns noggles on an esports and call it a day. Like they're actually like actively showing this whole new group of people like what radical transparency looks like in an org like esports, and
So good.
like using what they're building to show like Nounish first principles, not just the Noggles. The Noggles too, of course, but like not just the Noggles. And so that's kind of what we've been trying to do with Zero Rights is like, you know, how can we make our content appeal to a broader group of people while also, you know, doing something interesting and new, which is like what have you ever seen a content company that makes all of their content completely open source and, you know, remixable and usable by other people? And so, you know, what does that look like, and how can we be, you know, a flag bearer for open source in the content
bullish
realm?
Yeah, and also, like, even if it wasn't open source, it's still
Love
very
it.
unique. Where else would you find sounds like...
Yeah.
What the fuck, Woody?
I mean, it's
Most
CC0.
importantly,
It's CC0. Nobody wants it, but it is CC0. So
send it
I could not let this show
CC0.
end without that sound.
I kind of thought you'd say...
You need to get that sound to like Joe Rogan and those guys, because they'll go crazy.
By the way, we have to give a shout out because I feel badly. I actually completely forgot to put this in my thread earlier, but shout out to the park, you know, for making the banger that we've used for the last at least 300 episodes as our intro outro song, right here, right now. So perfect song. And also
sorry.
What's that?
Sorry. Oh wait. I just had a thought. Oh wait.
No, go for it.
Go for it. Yeah.
Are you any chance you're dropping like some sort of commemorative piece? Because like I'm still hanging out for a 9 o'clock. You know, like
There's an
I want to be
Illustradora
woken
piece
up.
available right now.
I'm glad you asked, Gami.
Mint that joint.
You would think we paid Gami to ask this question, but we didn't. This is just normal stoner behavior. But no, we do. We do have a commemorative edition done by Illustradora that shows our beloved mascot Noun O'Clock relaxing on the beach, enjoying his new retirement.
His new retirement plan is amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And then we've got the little Zero Rights sailboat sailing off into the horizon. So who knows, you know, what comes next? But definitely one you want to collect. And I think unless they've all gone while we've been on this show, I think there's a bunch that are still sponsored for free by Six. So go check that out. It's pinned above. It's on highlight.xyz. It's a free mint anyway. Normally you would just pay the highlight platform fee, but because Six has so generously put a bonus on there, I think you can just mint them for free until the 250 are gone anyway. So to answer your question, yes, we do have a commemorative edition, of course. Add it to your collection. If you've got all the POAPs, you know, from 2022, you better get this one put in the
Oh
wallet.
my god, I think I only have like 6, but
well, we'll take
out
it.
of 1,000.
Well, you know what? You drive a hard bargain, but we'll take it. if you have 6 POAPs, make sure you add this to the collection to make an evens at it.
Anyway, but yeah, just I'm gonna shut up now. But yeah, congrats, guys, and regardless of how bittersweet, the future sounds bright. Zero Rights Media, well done.
Thanks for coming by and mogging us.
Hell yeah. I do want to mention,
Mum
Gami,
is
you
mum.
reminded me of what might have been one of my favorite moments on the show. And I went and found it because I did clip it when it happened. Toady, I don't know if you remember this, but
Okay. I'm scared. I'm a bit
just
scared.
still contemplating why Toady before when he mentioned Tumlin didn't say that Tumlin was working on a little Sumlin. Because like the dad jokes that come out of
God damn it.
out of Toadie's mouth are just
Don't
ridiculous.
encourage him.
So it's funny you mention that because I have a little video dropping tomorrow. We might have done a little unboxing vid of some resin sculptures from Duckhead, and I showed it to my wife. I was like, "Hey, check this out! You know, I made this today," and she watched it too, and she was just like, "So many dad jokes. Like, do they like this?" And I said, "No, probably not."
No,
You're
we
like,
do.
that was never part of the equation.
Was
So
I
you
even
can't
a dad
change
then? I don't
who you
know.
are.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
We've come
I
to
usually get
expect them,
similar.
and we'd miss them if they were gone. You know what I mean? Like we expect the
That
puns,
is
we
true.
expect the dad
I
jokes.
will say,
We don't
and
like
other
them,
people here
but
will
we
back
do
me
love
up on
them.
this, Toady. When you are not here, I end up making dad jokes. It's just that when you
Excellent.
are here, I feel like I have to
working.
play the straight man.
Which is
Just because in comparison, which doesn't come naturally to me on any level. But
Was that the same time when Toady
disclaimer, this user makes gay jokes because this user is a gay joke. Continue.
What got me?
It might have been the same time or somewhere near there where I was like, I said that I was a stay-at-home dad with no kids, and you were like, stay-at-home Chad.
I think that was the same show.
I used that as my Twitter bio.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I've been waiting.
You could just sell that.
I minted
sell
that
the
in
dad
your
jokes.
ass.
I've been waiting for the royalties on that one for a while.
That's so.
I thought I was gonna get like an IMF like airdrop or something for that, but I guess not.
I'll send you one tonight.
Not quite.
Oh my god.
Awesome.
Well, anyway.
Anyone else here have any memories they want to share before they can only hold their peace? I see we have Civil here who's joined. I don't know if Civil wants to say hi.
Hi. Yeah, I rarely speak, but I've been listening a lot. Like, I don't know when I joined the Noun O'Clock space for the first time, but it's definitely been a constant and probably like the most sustainable version of doing a kind of a 24-hour space in tranches. Like there are 24-hour spaces that go for like 1, 2, 3 months, but this one basically is like at any time of the day, but just like spread out, right? And obviously it's like sustainability is also relative, but I don't know, like it's been so consistent, and I think like the impact cannot be understated. Like the ripple effects is honestly insane. I mean, basically everybody who's up here has already said that as well, but for me personally, I would definitely not have grown to love like Noun's ecosystem so much, and I'm like standing beside, I don't know, I think 3 boxes of noggles that, even though not all of them have noggles in them, I'll probably keep for purposes, and like Nouns is one of the things that I'm like the most proud to share about when it comes to Web3 Nouns overall, and like it's so fractalized that like obviously it will and can survive even without like such a basically the most constant like audio infrastructure. Well, I mean, of course there are other versions and other things, but I just have a lot of appreciation for the 1,000 episodes, and just want to say thank you for everyone who's been a part of it.
Thank you, and thank you for coming so often as well. I've seen you in the crowd many times, and always amplifying and really appreciate it. So, no, he disappeared. Oh no, there he is.
He's still here.
X was being weird. But yeah, so thank you for your support. it's been fun. Well, that's one of the things I said in the thread earlier too. But we've definitely seen lots of seasons of nouns. That's for sure. It's kind of interesting, all the many, different chapters of what's been going on in nouns. We've seen firsthand and talked about it. One thing about getting together every single day is that you don't miss talking about what's going on. So that's been an interesting part of it for me anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think there's been times when nouns morale has been in the dumps, during the fork and some other periods of time too, during the depths of the bear market when WAG was getting his $800 ETH orders filled. Lots of times when people weren't super excited about anything crypto, let alone nouns, and yeah, just being here every day, I think helped me, help my mental health, and hopefully helped others as well. Just getting together and thinking about things that are more fun than red charts or RFV raiders, etc.
Yeah.
The end.
The end.
Finn.
I think we've just about run out of steam. I do have 2 choices for the final song.
Okay. What are they?
Right Here, Right Now, or The Yellow Theme, both by The Park.
That's a hard one. I'm gonna let Joshua Fisher choose.
Right Here, Right Now.
All right.
He wants it because he missed it on the way in.
Well, we didn't play it on the way in. We played the Noun O'Clock theme on the way in, so.
Oh, yes.
On that note, thank you, everybody, so much for coming to this and however many other episodes of Noun O'Clock Live at Zero Rates Media that you managed to show up to. We have been doing this for 1,000 auctions in a row, and while the show is getting sunset, Zero Rates Media is far from it. So, until we see you again live, whenever that happens, we will see you on Warpcast, we will see you here on X, we will see you on YouTube. Go check out Zero Rates Media over there. We'll see you on Podstop Media. And unlike every other episode of this show, we will not see you tomorrow. Thanks for coming.
That was good. That was
It's almost like I've been hosting a show for however many fucking days in a row, Tony. I know what I'm doing.
If Davin didn't show up literally as an
Hey! A noun legend is in the building.
A noun legend is in the building. Davin, you showed up right just in time for the outro music, and I love that you are so consistent. Even when the show goes for an hour and 50 minutes.
Right here, right now. But comes, guys. It's great. I went to 200. So.
Yeah, that was about 300 ago.
Yes, you're
Go and miss this piece on highlights. It's free. We like free
Go
things.
check out the highlight piece. I'm letting this play out to the end.
Thanks, everybody. GG.
Beautiful emojis. Playing Soft in the Sunset.